Rion's small spaceship floated quietly above the strange planet. He looked at the view from the window. Below, tall mountains and wide green forests stretched far. The sky was a soft purple, and the sun shone faintly in the distance. This was a new world, one no one had ever seen closely before. Rion was a young traveler. He loved to explore space and meet new people. His mission was to find places where life could be peaceful and strong. Today, he had landed near a great city made of shining silver towers. The city looked very different from his home, but also beautiful. He checked his equipment one last time and stepped outside. The air smelled fresh and cool. He walked toward the city gates. Guards in shining armor stopped him. They looked surprised to see a stranger. "Who are you?" One guard asked. "My name is Rion," he said calmly. "I come in peace. I want to learn about your people." The guard studied him for a moment. Then he nodded. "You may enter. The princess wishes to see you." Rion felt a little nervous. A princess? He had never met an alien princess before. The guard led him through tall halls full of strange lights and quiet sounds. The walls seemed to glow softly, and the floors shine like glass. Finally, they reached a large room. Inside, a young woman stood alone. She had bright green skin and long silver hair that flowed like water. Her eyes were wide and full of surprise. But what caught Rion's attention most was that she wore no armor or heavy clothes. Instead, she wore a simple white dress that showed her softness and strength at the same time. The princess's eyes met Rion's. She took a small step back, clearly shocked to see him there. "You should not be here," she said softly. "How? Did you get past the guards?" "I mean no harm," Rion replied gently. "I came because I heard your planet is in danger. I want to help if I can." The princess looked around nervously. "It is true. We face a great threat, but I am unarmed and unprepared." Rion smiled kindly. "We all start from somewhere. Let me stand with you. We can face this together." Her eyes searched his face. Slowly, she nodded. "I am Mira, princess." "Mira, thank you for your kindness, Rion." The room felt quiet except for their voices. Outside, distant sounds of alarm echoed faintly. Mira's people were preparing for something terrible. Rion asked, "Tell me about the danger. What threatens?" "Your home." Mira's face grew serious. "A warlord from a distant star system seeks to take our land. He brings weapons and armies far stronger than ours. Our people are peaceful and have no desire for war, but he forces us to fight." Rion frowned. "That is not right. No one should live in fear." Mira nodded slowly. "Yes, but we have little choice. Our defenses are strong, but without armor, I am vulnerable. The warlord's spies find our weakness." Rion looked at her with respect. "Then we must find a way to protect you and your people. I have some skills from my travels. Maybe they can help." Mira's surprise changed to hope. "You are brave, Rion. Few outsiders would risk coming here." He smiled. "I believe in people who want peace. I will do all I can." Just then, a loud sound shook the palace. The walls trembled, and a warning light flashed red. "They are close," Mira said, her voice tense. "The warlord's forces are near. We must act quickly." Rion stood straight. "Then let's begin. Show me what you have, and we will plan." Mira led him to a room filled with strange machines and weapons. Some looked like glowing swords, others like shining shields, but many were turned off or damaged. "Our technology is advanced, but it cannot stop armies alone," Mira said. "We rely on courage and quick minds." Rion nodded. "That is a good start. We can work with that." Mira showed him maps of the planet and enemy movements. Together, they studied every detail. As the suns began to set, the two new friends sat quietly. Mira's shock had faded, replaced by determination. Rion felt a strong bond forming. "We will protect this world," Rion said firmly. "No matter what happens." Mira smiled softly. "With you here, I believe we can." Far away, the warlords. Ships moved closer, casting shadows on the planet's surface. The fight for peace was about to begin. The morning light poured through the tall windows of the palace training hall. Rian stretched his arms and looked around. The room was large and bright, filled with strange machines and devices that hummed softly. Today, he would begin training. With Princess Mira. Mira entered the hall wearing simple clothes, ready to learn and teach. She was calm but determined. Her eyes showed the weight of her people's future, but also hope. "We need to be ready," Mira said. "Koran's forces come closer every day. If I cannot protect myself, how can I protect my people?" Rian nodded. "I will teach you what I know about combat and defense, and you will teach me about your technology." They started with simple exercises. Rian showed Mira how to move quickly and avoid attacks. Mira surprised him with her speed and balance, though she had never trained as a warrior. Her determination was strong. "Good," Rian said with a smile. "You have a natural talent." Mira smiled back. "I will not fail." Next, Mira showed Rian how to use the glowing shields that protected the city. She explained how the shields could absorb energy from attacks and send it back to the enemy. Rian tested the shield by sending small energy balls toward it. The shield glowed brightly and pushed the balls away. "This is amazing," he said. "Your people have great power. But power is only useful if used wisely," Mira replied. "We do not want to hurt others unless we must." They spent hours practicing together. Rian taught Mira how to use a weapon called the pulse blade. It was a sword made of light energy, sharp and strong. Mira struggled at first, but with patience, she learned how to hold it and swing with control. "I feel stronger with this," Mira said, her eyes shining. "Thank you, Rian. You are strong already." Rian said kindly, "The weapon only helps." Their time in the training hall was more than practice. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and their fears. Mira told Rian about her people's history, how they lived in peace for centuries, caring for their planet and each other. Rian shared stories from his travels of stars and planets, different creatures, and the endless wonders of space. Slowly, they built trust. The bond between them grew beyond teacher and student. They became friends united by a common goal. One afternoon, the sound of alarms echoed through the palace again. Guards rushed inside the training hall. "The enemy scouts are near the city edge," one said. "They are searching for weaknesses." Mira's face grew serious. "We must warn the people and prepare defenses." Rian stood beside her. "Let's go." They hurried to the command center, where soldiers and leaders waited anxiously. The map showed red dots moving fast toward the city walls. "We must act quickly," Mira said. "Rian, can you help lead a small team to scout their positions?" Rian nodded. "Yes, I will go with you if you want." Mira smiled. Together, the two prepared for the mission. They wore light armor and carried pulse blades and shields outside. The air was cool and clear. Rian felt the weight of responsibility, but also excitement. This was his chance to help protect the world he had come to love. They moved quietly through the forest near the city. The trees were tall and thick, making shadows where the enemy could hide. Suddenly, they heard voices and footsteps. The scouts were close. Rian and Mira hid behind rocks and watched. About 20 soldiers in heavy armor moved carefully, searching the area. "We need to know their plans," Mira whispered. Rian nodded. "I will sneak closer to listen." He moved quietly, careful not to make a sound. From a safe distance, he heard one soldier say, "The princess is unarmed. We must strike quickly to capture her." Mira's eyes widened. "They want to take me prisoner." Rian's voice was firm. "We cannot let that happen." They returned to the city quickly and told the leaders what they had learned. The warning gave the people time to strengthen defenses around the palace. That night, Mira and Rian sat again on the balcony. The stars were bright, and the air was calm. "You showed great courage today," Mira said softly. "Thank you for risking yourself." Rian smiled. "We protect each other. That is what makes us strong." Mira looked at him. "I feel ready now, ready to face whatever comes." Rian nodded. "And I will stand with you, far beyond the planet." The warlord Karan watched the news of the scouts' defeat. His eyes narrowed in anger. "They are stronger than I thought," he said. "But I will not stop. This world will be mine, back on the planet. The people prepared for the battles ahead. With each day, Mira grew stronger, and Rion's presence gave them hope. The fight for their future had only just begun. The sky was gray and heavy with clouds as the alarm echoed through the city. The time had come. The warlord's army was at the gates. Rion and Mira stood together on the palace balcony, watching the horizon. Thousands of soldiers marched across the plains, their armor shining like dark stars. The ground trembled beneath their feet. "We cannot let them break through," Mira said, her voice steady but full of fire. "This city, my people, they depend on us." Rion nodded. "We will fight with everything we have." The city gates opened slowly, and the warlord's forces advanced. Their weapons were loud and fierce, throwing fire and metal into the air. The people of the city moved quickly, taking positions behind walls and shields. Rion led a group of defenders to a narrow street near the gate. He raised his hand, signaling them to wait. Mira stayed in the command center, coordinating the defense and watching every movement. The first clash was loud and sudden. The enemy soldiers pushed forward, but the city's defenders held strong. Shields glowed bright, blocking attacks. Pulse blades sliced through the air, cutting down those who came too close. Rion fought with skill and courage. He moved like the wind, striking fast and protecting his team. The warlord's soldiers were tough, but they had not expected such fierce resistance. Meanwhile, Mira's voice came through the communicator. "Rion, the northern wall is weakening. Reinforcements are needed." Rion nodded and sent the soldiers to help. He stayed with his group, pushing the enemy back step by step. As the battle grew more intense, the city's technology began to shine. Giant energy cannons appeared on the walls, firing beams that stopped enemy vehicles. Shield generators hummed loudly, creating barriers that protected the people. But the warlord's army was not giving up. They sent faster ships, dropping soldiers. Behind the city's lines, chaos spread. Rion spotted a group of enemy soldiers moving toward the palace. He ran to warn Mira. "She needs to be safe," he thought. "I will stop them." He met the soldiers in a narrow alley. With quick moves, he used his pulse blade to block and strike. The fight was fierce but short. Rion's skill won the day, and the enemy soldiers fell back. Back in the command center, Mira watched the battle closely. She felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, but she also felt strength from her people and from Rion. "We cannot lose," she said quietly. The battle raged for hours. The city's defenders fought bravely, using every tool and tactic they had learned. Rion and Mira led their people with hope and courage. Finally, the warlord's army began to retreat. Their soldiers were tired and broken. The city had held. The sun broke through the clouds, shining on the battered but proud city. People cheered and embraced. Mira stepped outside and looked at the faces around her. She saw hope and strength. Rion joined her. "We did it," he said. Mira smiled. "Yes, but this is only the beginning." Rion nodded. "We must prepare for what comes next." That night, the palace was filled with quiet conversations and plans. The people knew the war was far from over. Mira and Rion sat together again. "Tired but determined. Your courage saved many lives today," Mira said. "And your people's heart kept this city standing," Rion replied. They looked at the stars, knowing the fight for peace was only just beginning. The morning after the battle was quiet but filled with tension. The city had survived the attack, but everyone knew the warlord's forces would return stronger. Rion and Mira met early in the palace library, a room filled with ancient books and strange machines. "We cannot rely only on shields and blades," Mira said, looking serious. "We need something more powerful, something that can change the course of this war." Rion nodded. "Do you think such a thing exists?" Mira walked to a large map on the wall and pointed to a distant part of the planet. "Far from the city, there is a place called the Forgotten Caves. Our ancestors sealed a weapon there long ago. It was made to protect the planet in times of great danger." Rion's eyes widened. "A secret weapon. What kind?" Mira looked down. "It is a device that can control the energy beneath the planet's surface. It can create powerful shields or strike enemies with great force. But it is very dangerous if used wrongly. Rian thought carefully. If we find it and learn to use it, we could protect your people and stop the warlord. Yes, Mira said softly, but the caves are hard to reach. Many have tried to find the weapon, but none returned. Rian's face showed no fear. Then I will go. I will find the weapon and bring it back. Mira looked at him with surprise and respect. You are brave, Rian. But this journey is not easy. We must try, Rian said firmly, for the future of your world. The two prepared for the journey. Mira gave Rian a small device that could scan the caves for energy sources. She also packed food and light armor. The palace guards offered a small ship to carry him. As Rian left the city, Mira watched with hope and worry. The path ahead was uncertain, but she trusted him. The ship moved quickly through the planet's atmosphere and toward the distant mountains. After hours of flight, Rian landed near a narrow cave entrance hidden among tall rocks. The air was cool and still. He stepped inside carefully. The cave was dark, but his device glowed softly, lighting the way. The walls were covered with strange symbols and carvings. Rian realized these were messages from the ancestors, warning about the power hidden inside. As he moved deeper, the ground shook lightly. Energy pulsed beneath his feet like a heartbeat. Suddenly, a large door blocked the path. It was made of shining metal, with no visible handle. Rian used the scanning device. The door reacted to the energy in the cave, slowly opening. With a low hum, inside, he found a chamber filled with light. In the center was a strange machine that looked alive. It had glowing lines and moving parts that shifted like a living creature. Rian approached carefully. He felt the power coming from the device. It was strong but not harmful. He reached out and touched a glowing panel. Images flashed in his mind, pictures of the planet, the people, and the weapon being used long ago to protect them. Suddenly, a voice echoed in the chamber. It was calm and clear. Only those with pure heart and courage may use this power. Rian took a deep breath. I want to help protect this world. The machine responded by glowing brighter. It began to teach him how to control the energy, how to create shields, send pulses, and protect others. Hours passed as Rian learned. He felt the power growing inside him, but also the responsibility. At last, the machine's light dimmed, and the chamber grew quiet. Rian knew he had the secret weapon, but he also knew the war was not over. He returned to his ship and flew back to the city, ready to share what he had learned. When he arrived, Mira and the people greeted him with hope. Together, they began to prepare for the next battle. With the secret weapon, their chances had grown stronger. But deep in space, the warlord Karan learned of Rian's journey. His anger grew. This will not stop me, he said. I will crush this world no matter what. The fight for the planet's future was far from over, but now there was new hope. The city buzzed with preparation. Soldiers sharpened their pulse blades. Engineers tested the new energy shields, and the people gathered courage for the coming storm. The secret weapon Rian had brought back was now part of their defense, a glowing core of hope in the heart of the city. Mira stood tall in her new armor. The shining plates covered her arms and chest, glowing softly with the power of her people's technology. She looked strong and ready, no longer the unarmored princess Rian had first met. Rian watched her with pride. You are ready, he said. Mira smiled. Because I have to be. For my people, for this planet. Outside, dark clouds gathered, and the warlord's fleet appeared on the horizon, like a storm of metal and fire. Ships hovered over the city, ready to strike. Rian and Mira stood at the front of the city's defense, side by side. The leaders had gathered to make a final plan. We must use the secret weapon carefully, Mira said. It can protect us, but if it falls into the wrong hands, it could destroy everything. Rian nodded. I will guard it with my life. The warlord's forces attacked with full power. Energy blasts lit the sky as ships fired on the city walls. Soldiers fought bravely, pushing back the enemy's ground forces. Rian moved through the battlefield with the secret weapon's power flowing through him. He raised his hands. and a bright shield formed around a group of defenders, stopping a powerful blast. Mira led the charge against the enemy soldiers. Her pulse blade glowed brightly as she fought with skill and courage. She moved quickly, protecting her people and inspiring them to fight harder. The battle was fierce and long. The warlord's army was strong, but the city's defenders had something more powerful to protect their home. At one point, the warlord himself appeared on the battlefield. Tall and armored, he carried a massive weapon that sent waves of energy crashing into the defenders. Mira stepped forward. "Your fight is with me," she said firmly. The two clashed in a battle of strength and skill. Mira's pulse blade met the warlord's weapon in a shower of sparks. The fight was close, but Mira's courage and Rion's support gave her strength. Rion used the secret weapon to protect Mira, sending powerful shields to block the warlord's attacks. Together, they pushed the warlord back. Seeing his soldiers falter, the warlord grew angry. He unleashed a final, powerful blast aimed at the city's heart. Rion stepped in front of the blast. Using the secret weapon to absorb the energy, the power flowed through him, and he directed it back toward the warlord's forces. The blast struck with great force, breaking the enemy lines. The warlord's army began to retreat, defeated and broken. The city was safe. Mira and Rion stood together, breathing hard but proud. "You did it," Mira said softly. "We did it," Rion replied. The people cheered, their voices rising in celebration. The warlord was defeated, and peace was near. That night, Mira and Rion stood on the palace balcony, looking at the stars. "The fight was hard," Mira said, "but we are stronger because of it." Rion smiled, "And stronger because we stood together." Mira looked at him with hope. "What will you do now?" Rion thought for a moment. "I will stay, help protect this world, and learn more about its people." Mira nodded. "Then we will face the future side by side." The stars shone brightly above them. A new dawn was coming for the planet, full of hope and promise. The morning sun rose gently over the peaceful city. The air was fresh, and the soft light touched the shining towers and green gardens. After the long battle, the people of the planet finally felt hope in their hearts. Princess Mira stood on the palace balcony, looking over her city. The damage from the war was visible: broken walls, burnt fields, and tired faces, but the spirit of the people was stronger than ever. Beside her stood Rion. His eyes reflected the calm morning, but inside, he knew their work was not finished. "We saved the city," Mira said quietly. "But there is still much to rebuild." Rion nodded. "Yes, but we have something more important now: the trust and friendship of your people." Mira smiled softly. "You have become part of our world, Rion." The people began to repair their homes and clean the streets. Soldiers helped the injured, and engineers fixed the broken machines. Children played again in the gardens, their laughter a bright sign of life returning. Rion joined Mira in visiting the families. He shared stories of other planets and listened to their hopes for the future. The bond between the two grew stronger each day. One afternoon, the council gathered to discuss the next steps. "We must ensure peace lasts," Mira said. "The warlord Karan may try to return, or others like him may come." Rion agreed. "We should build stronger alliances, learn from other worlds, and teach them about our strength and kindness." The council members nodded. Plans were made to send messengers to nearby planets, asking for friendship and support. As weeks passed, Mira and Rion worked together to train new defenders. The secret weapon was carefully guarded and used only to protect. The people learned to live with courage and wisdom. One evening, as the twin suns set, Mira and Rion sat quietly by a glowing fire. "Do you remember the day you first came?" Mira asked. Rion smiled. "I was surprised to find you unarmored and shocked. Now, you stand strong and ready." Mira laughed softly. "And you have become my greatest ally." They looked at the stars, feeling the peace they had fought so hard to achieve. Suddenly, a soft light appeared near them, a message from a distant world. It was an invitation to join a group of planets working together for peace. Mira's eyes shone. "This is the beginning of a new journey." Rion reached out his hand, together. We will face whatever comes. The future was bright, full of promise and friendship. The alien princess, once unarmored and surprised, now stood proud, ready to protect her people and build a better world with her new friend. The story of their courage and hope would be told for generations, a true tale of how kindness and strength can change the stars. Far away, in a galaxy filled with stars and strange planets, there was a powerful kingdom ruled by the alien king. His people were tall and strong, with bright eyes and quick minds. They lived on a planet called Zorlan, where the air was thick and heavy, and the mountains reached high into the purple sky. The alien king was proud of his warriors. They were brave and skilled in fighting. They protected the kingdom from enemies who wanted to take their land. But the king had one worry. His daughter, Princess Nara, was very different from the other children. Nara was small and weak. She had soft skin that could break easily, and her voice was quiet. She could not run fast or fight like the other young warriors. Every day, she tried to train with the others, but her body would tire quickly. Sometimes, she would fall and hurt herself. The other children did not understand her. They teased her and called her the fragile princess. The king watched this with a heavy heart. He loved Nara very much. He wished she could be strong like the others. But her body did not want to grow strong. The king knew the dangers that were coming. Other kingdoms in the galaxy wanted to attack Zorlan. The king needed his daughter to be safe. One day, the king called his closest advisors. "We must find a way to protect Nara," he said. "If she stays here, she will be in danger. She is too weak to defend herself." The advisors thought for a long time. Then, one of them spoke. "There is a planet far from here called Earth. The people there are different, but they are strong and kind. There is a human who is brave and wise. He might help Nara grow stronger." The king listened carefully. He had heard stories about Earth and humans before. They were small compared to his people, but they had a special courage. The king decided to trust this human. He sent a message to Earth asking the human to come to Zorlan. A few days later, the human arrived. His name was Tom. He was not a soldier, but he was brave and kind. He had helped many people on Earth, and he knew how to teach others to be strong in their own way. The king met Tom in the Great Hall. "I trust you with my daughter," the king said. "She is fragile and weak, but she has a brave heart. Help her grow strong. Teach her what you know." Tom bowed his head. "I will do my best. Your Majesty, I will protect Nara and help her become strong." Nara watched the meeting from behind a tall pillar. She was nervous. She had never met a human before. She wondered if Tom could really help her. She wanted to believe he could. Tom smiled gently at her. "Hello, Nara. I know you are scared, but I am here to help you. We will work together, and I promise you will grow stronger." The king nodded. Tomorrow, Nara will go with Tom to Earth. It will be a long journey, but it is the best way to keep her safe. That night, Nara packed a small bag. She said goodbye to her mother and father. Her mother held her tightly. "Be brave, my daughter. You are stronger than you think." Nara felt tears in her eyes. She was afraid, but she knew she must try. She took a deep breath and looked at the stars outside her window. "I will be strong," she whispered. The next morning, Nara and Tom boarded a bright spaceship. The engines roared as they left the purple skies of Zorlan behind. Nara looked back at her home, feeling both sadness and hope. The journey through space was long. Nara watched many stars and planets pass by the windows. Tom told her stories about Earth, how people lived, how they helped each other, and how they became strong through hard work and kindness. Nara listened carefully. She wanted to learn everything. She asked many questions, and Tom answered with patience. Slowly, Nara's fear began to fade. She felt a small spark of hope inside her heart. When they finally arrived on Earth, Nara was surprised. The sky was blue, and the air felt light. She took a deep breath and smiled. "This place is different," she said softly. Tom nodded. "Yes, Nara. Earth is a place of great courage. Here, you will learn to be strong in a new way. They traveled to a small house near the edge of a quiet forest. This was Tom's home. It was simple but warm. Nara felt safe for the first time in a long time. Tom showed her the training area he made outside. There were ropes, wooden dummies, and small weights. "We will start slow," Tom said. "First, we build your body. Then, we train your mind." Nara smiled. She was ready. The first days were hard. Nara's body was tired from simple exercises. She fell many times, and her muscles ached, but Tom was patient. He helped her up and said, "Every step is progress, no matter how small." Nara remembered her mother's words, "Be brave." She kept trying, day after day. One afternoon, Tom said, "Now, we try something new." He showed her how to breathe deeply and focus. Strength is not only in your body, but also in your mind. Nara closed her eyes and listened to Tom's calm voice. She felt her heartbeat slow and her thoughts clear. For a moment, she felt calm and strong inside. That night, Nara looked at the stars again. She thought about her home, her father, and the promise she made. She felt a new feeling, hope. She whispered, "I will be strong. I will make my father proud."